everyone, and welcome to the Supply Chain Conversations podcast. I'm Anabela.
I'm Mo.
And I'm Chris.
In this podcast, you'll find conversations about anything related to the supply chain.
And how we make sense of the business world.
And we'll explore what innovation looks like in practice.
So welcome on board and enjoy the conversation.
In this episode, we're talking to Taniska. She's telling us all about her journey at UE. So she's talking about her experience of doing her degree and what she's experienced in year 1, 2, and 3. I found it really interesting, her story, because she talks about balancing her sports career with her academic career and gives us some hints about her time management skills and what she enjoyed in the degree, but also some advice into what to do when you don't actually like a module. So I thought that was quite interesting. She also touched upon teamwork experiences and the importance of networking at university. So it was a really, really interesting conversation. So I hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as we did. Welcome to the Supply Chain Conversations podcast, Taniska. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're really grateful for you agreeing to do this for us. And I wanted to start with you asking you to do just a little bit introduction. Tell us about who you are, where are you now, and a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I am Taniska Jain. I was in UE until last year. I graduated in July 2024. I studied business and law, and I'm also a professional athlete. I play squash and represent India. And at the minute, I'm in Mumbai, which is my home.
Well done, thank you. Wow, that is the definition of an overachiever, no? But we'll get to that. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the modules you've learned, the things you've learned at uni. What are the things, just for a starting point, the things that stand out to you, like the things that you still think, oh wow, that really stuck with me, you know?
I think all my final year modules were extremely helpful. I personally chose them myself. I went through every single module handbook. I did not want to do a module that had a group study or a group project because I just like to depend on myself rather than having to depend on anyone else. And I felt like my final grade marks were so important to me. I did not want anything bad to, come in my way or obstruct me from getting like a first class because I was so focused on getting a first class. So I did personally end up reading every single module handbook. And I think the modules that I chose really helped me. I mean, it's just very subconsciously it creeps into you and how you think, and while you're doing the assignments and all of that, you're too focused on getting the things right and doing it how your professor wants you to do it. You don't realize how much you're actually absorbing. But I think once you graduate and once you leave the university world, you realize how much it has actually helped you, and just like things you do even in your day-to-day life, you just realize how much of an impact that it has had on you. So I think all my modules, from the simulation to project management to business innovation growth, I think all of them really helped me. And I'm really glad that I chose the modules that I did.
Add to that, how do you know you will enjoy it though? How did you know you would enjoy the choices you'd make?
Business is something I enjoy in general. Since I come from a business family, I have a keen interest on knowing how things work and how to better a business, and all of that just interests me because nowadays there's so much competition. Everyone's copying each other, and it's so easy to just it's not easy to come up with an idea, but it's easy for the idea to get stolen. So all of this innovation, growth, project management, all of that is it just made me think really deep, and I just thought that it will help me open up more avenues in the future if I ever wanted to do a business of my own, or if I wanted to continue my family business. I just felt like those modules were going to be really helpful, which is why I chose them.
Right.
Very strategic.
Mhm. Yeah, interestingly, that's what I thought as well when you said you talk about aspects that are quite holistic about the business and not necessarily the details, the nitty-gritty. It's all about the strategic elements,
The bigger
innovation, project
picture.
management. Yes, excellent. Very good. Maybe we can ask Taniska what her thoughts are on each year and what made that year successful for you. Like what mattered. You did 3 years at UE. Do you say one was particularly important, but how were the other ones, and what can you say about it?
I think I was really lost my first year. I had no idea how to do it, what to do. I had no idea how the grading system worked. I had no idea what I was doing. So my first year was just me figuring out a way to make it to the second, I guess. But then when I got to my second year, I had a little more understanding about what I was supposed to do. But even then, I wasn't spending loads of time on doing my assignments. I was still heavily focused on my squash, which is why I was not attending all of my classes. And there was just a missing link, which is why every time I attended a class, because I did not know what was going on, I could not make sense of it entirely. And that showed up in my assignments, I think, where it was good, but it was not good enough. It was probably a 2-2 or a 2-1. But then my final year, I was completely into it. I was attending every single lecture. I was talking to professors. I was before time. My assignments were ready, like say a week before they were supposed to be submitted, and then I was just proofreading them and then seeing what needed to be added or changed or adding more references and stuff like that. So I think the shift from the second year to the third year was just investing more time into my modules and spending way more time in the library than anywhere else.
And it pays
I
off.
love
Well
that.
done.
It pays off, yes. I wanted to ask you about that because you mentioned you attended more in your third year. If you were to go back, would you say or would you advise other students to attend more their sessions
Definitely.
throughout?
Oh,
You
yeah.
think it made that
Lectures help
difference?
massively. There's this common misconception that you don't need to attend lectures, you can probably do it yourself at home. But I think that's so wrong because whatever the professors teach is directly related to what you actually need to submit in your assignments, and that is what's going to dictate your marks. So I think it's so important to listen to them, to see their perspective, to get to know what they want so that you get the marks that you want. Because
Mm.
otherwise, what you think is right is not actually what they want from you. So it's extremely important to attend the lectures, and all my professors have been great. So I think it was just wonderful. It was nice to be in class. It was not just all study and no fun. All the professors kept it really light-hearted and kept like making jokes and stuff, kept it funny. So it's not like you're sleeping halfway through the lecture or the seminar. It was really fun and engaging. So I think it was really nice.
I think um, that you're describing something that we already feel and we love when students engage in the sessions and attend and ask us questions. I think that's the thing I would like to um, reinforce based on what you are sharing yourself of your experiences. Don't be afraid to come and talk to us about things because we love a chat. We love talking to you about things and challenging things and criticizing a company and thinking about different ways. And we love that conversation and that discussion. That's why we are teachers, is because we love doing it. But you are right. Sometimes I think there is a misconception that you maybe don't need to attend or, don't need lectures, you don't need to be there and stuff like that. So thanks for sharing that experience with us. Yeah. Mo?
Yeah, Tanishka, you said there was you made a conscious change between year two and year three. When, why, how? What was the
In my third
pivotal
year.
realization?
She
What
got her
happened then?
marks.
In my
Huh?
third year, my only goal was to get a first class. I was like, I
Okay,
need to make it happen. Otherwise, there's no point in going to uni. I was
okay. So what?
like, first
So
class
what
or
the?
nothing.
All right. So all or nothing. Yeah, that was the strategy. So
Yeah.
what were the things that you did differently from the year two to three? What were the three, four big things they think? You know what? I'm all in.
From Jan until May 29th, I was in the library from 7 a.m. until 2 a.m. every single day.
Gosh,
I was
that
literally
sounds
only in the library. I was doing business modules, law modules, and law requires so much studying. So I had like actual physical books that I was going through to gather data so that I have
yeah,
like really informative assignments that I'm submitting to get more references. I have
yeah,
never used ChatGPT for any of my assignments. I did not rely
yeah,
on that. I
yeah,
did not want anything to come in my way, basically.
yeah.
So
Any
I was
problems
like,
down
I'm
the
gonna
road?
do it
Yeah,
myself. I'm gonna put in all the effort. I am gonna attend all the lectures. I am gonna see what
yeah,
the professor thinks about my assignment. I'm gonna do it differently if he thinks that this is not good enough. Um, but yeah, just spending loads of time in the library and reading about stuff and going through all the
yeah,
modules and whatever notes that I made during the lectures massively helped me, I
yeah.
think.
So, because you did a business and law, which is
Yes.
basically two very different disciplines, two different referencing systems,
Yeah.
two different pretty good ways of teaching and learning as well. So that must have like split your head apart a bit.
Yes, definitely. Even more so because I had no law background. So in my
Okay.
first year, when I started out, I had no idea. They were just throwing terms at me, and I was like, I don't even
Okay.
know who the prosecutor or the defender is. So I'm like, I genuinely don't understand what's going on. But you just have to keep reading. And I think in my third year, I actually went through law journals and books about the company law and stuff like that, financial crime and all of that. And
Mm,
I think
mm,
that
mm, mm,
that broadened my perspective and deepened my
mm.
knowledge.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that really helped.
I want to
Amazing.
pick up on sorry, I want to pick up on something you said there about deepening your knowledge, or because you've described the process that we try to encourage students to go through, which is this cycle between critical reading, allows you to do critical thinking, and then allows you to do critical writing. And a lot of students try to jump straight into the critical writing. If you haven't done critical reading, you can't have critical thinking or innovative ideas, let's say. Let's pick up that term if Chris allows us. And then critical writing doesn't happen, because critical writing comes from your ability to compare and contrast different views, different arguments, and putting things together based on your own understanding. So I love the way you described it, because yes, it involves a lot of effort and it involves reading a lot and spending a lot of time in the library. But I think you're highlighting an important point, which also shows why you're in the Dean's list, isn't it? Uh, but you're highlighting an important point of a lot of the work that you do at university needs to be outside the classroom. So the classroom is where you learn the concepts, right? And where you have the conversation with your tutors, with your teachers, to try and further understand how things interrelate, particularly in a discipline. But you need to do a lot of reading outside the classroom to be able to have that database of information that then allows you to interconnect.
Yeah, I think only when you know what the professor is talking about is when you actually attend a lecture, it makes sense. Otherwise, it's just random stuff being thrown at you, which makes no sense to you. So I think one of the major things that shifted in my third year was me reading about the lecture beforehand. I was doing my weekly readings, which I wasn't doing in my second year. So the professors ask you to read certain topics or certain just like certain articles before, but I wasn't doing that in my second year, which I started doing in my third year, and the stuff that was then being taught just made sense to me.
So you said you wish you could start all of that again. Tell
I
us
feel
the top 3 pieces of advice. Like, if you could do your final year again, what would be those things?
stay disciplined, stay consistent,
Okay.
and stay open to new opportunities, and just really give it your all, because you're not getting it back again.
Okay.
So enjoy it, but also stay online, stay focused, and stay disciplined.
I really like
Brilliant.
your focus earlier on the extent to which you need to express yourself. You need to actually speak to others, speak to the lecturers, speak. You need to express yourself. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're just you're gonna miss out on so much. And you mentioned a lot of your interactions you had with the lecturers, and I remember, of course, after all the classes or during the classes,
always
your
annoyed Chris with my
incessant questions. And we were joking around about it, and it's that's what makes the life of a lecturer also more fun, because you're interacting at a deeper level with students who clearly are curious and interested, and that's what we obviously cherish in our work.
Taniska, what was the most memorable UE experience, other than me, of course, that you had at UE? What was the most memorable thing? What do you remember about what will stay with you for a while?
I think the whole uni experience is something that I'm going to cherish for a lifetime.
Okay.
The lectures, the seminars, the interactions in the workshops, going and studying in the library all day long, surviving on coffee, all of that. I think I think I'm going to cherish that for a lifetime. Even now, when I think about it, I just appreciate it so much, because that
Brilliant.
was the most amount of fun I've ever had till now.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. It's the second question. What advice would you have for students, study hack wise, etc.?
It is tough, and it is going to take loads of effort. But if you want the first class, you have to do it. You have to put in the effort. You have to do your pre-readings. You have to attend every single lecture. You have to speak to professors. You have to finish your assignments in advance so that the professors can have a look at it and then actually make adjustments to it, whatever's required. Because otherwise, you're not going to be able to do it.
Okay. Cool. And then, if you could do things differently, all over again, what would you do?
I think I'd put in more effort to make friends and to interact with more people in my first and second year. I think I was very closed off. I was very internal focused. I did not have a broader vision, a broader perspective and an outlook. So I think I'd really regret not speaking to more people and not making more friends in my first and second year. And that is what I'd do differently this year. I mean, if I
you
ever
do
had a
again.
chance, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can still come back. That's fine.
We do offer masters, and
I will think about that.
So I don't know if you've already talked about this, but I want to catch up on what you just said of making more friends. And I think linking back to what you were saying about teamwork, that's also a great opportunity to make friends for life.
Yeah.
Do you still stay in touch with some of your old team members from the group, some colleagues where you made some closer connections?
It's just a few, about 2 and 3 still in touch from uni. But apart from that, I think everyone's really focused on their life and on what they're doing. So it's really hard to still maintain connection. But yeah, I'm pretty sure if we ever meet, wherever we meet, we're still going to have a pretty long conversation. So yeah, I mean, we don't talk regularly, but I'm sure when we do, it'll be nice to see them again.
Yeah, I think for me, personally, that's exactly what happened. So the people I've met at university, there's only a couple of people that you stay closer and in contact, and whenever you meet is always a joyful experience. But I think those are the things, and until today, those are the people that if they need a contact for something, they'll come to, oh, do you know someone that is interested in this job opportunity or this or that? So that networking is really important as well. So it's part of the experience. So I like you would encourage others to, in their first year and second year, invest as well in meeting people, creating their bubble, their network of people that they can rely on. And it also makes the experience easier, especially if you're coming from a different country. Making friends makes things a lot more accessible. So the other thing I wanted to ask, and this is controversial, but we know that you are very, very, a very good student, very dedicated and very good at everything. But there's always a module or two at university that we don't like. I mean, in my day, I remember not really liking one or two modules for many different reasons that we don't need to go into. But do you have any personal advice for those modules that students tend not to like? Because sometimes not liking means you disengage with things. But what advice would you give for those students that are feeling right now at this point in time, oh, I really don't like that module? What do you tell them?
I had no idea how I was going to do my assignment, but then I realized that if I needed to get the marks that I wanted, I needed to find a way around it. So then I started listening and re-listening to the online seminar videos that she posted right after the seminars, because during the seminars I used to zone out because of how uninterested I was in the module. So I used to stop making notes halfway through, and then it obviously did not make sense to me. So I used to keep re-listening to those seminar videos after the seminar, and then I used to make notes about it, and then that's how I started writing my assignment on it. And then I, of course, started talking to my module professor and asked her if this was making sense to her and if this is what they were looking for. And I think just doing that really helped me get over it and understand the module to then actually doing the assignment well.
That's
So
really good.
there's no easy way around it. If you don't like it, you still have to do it. So
That's the sentence. That will be the logo of this. If you don't like it, you still have to do it. And I think that brings us beautifully to this idea that when you go into the job market, you're going to have, even if you have a very exciting job, there will be parts of the job that you don't enjoy. I mean, that's the deal, isn't it? Not everything is fantastic and joyful in your job. So if you can get through those modules that you don't like, you can get pretty much through anything, I think, if you can put the effort in. And as you said, really pay attention and make an effort to understand them. You can do anything else.
Wonderful.
Taniska,
I have a question that builds from what you said about how you admire founders and the work that goes into launching a business. And I was wondering if you would say that your UE experience and your degree has in any way changed your attitude towards potentially launching your own business.
Before my final year, I had no idea about how businesses run. I had no intention of ever becoming a founder or any sort of that kind of intention. It just never crossed my mind. But ever since my final year, I just got really invested into like business shows and business reality shows like Shark Tank, and you see founders coming in and they're just so like their intellect level is just unnatural, like the way they think, the way they process information, all of that. And I feel like I would definitely want to be that person someday. I would want to be the founder of a firm that's doing really well, and I want to have a story where I started from scratch and built a very big business. I'm not sure what kind of business I still want to do or what I'll end up doing, but that is definitely something that I started thinking about after my final year, which I'd never thought about before.
Do you think you have the strength that are needed?
I think so. I think everyone has the strength if they put their mind to it. You just have
Perfect
to.
answer.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been trying to resist all this interview. Talk to me about your pro career and all of this stuff. I want to know everything.
Finally get to it.
All right, so Taniska, you said you represent India in squash, and then you was also doing that while you were studying at UE.
Yeah.
Just give us the highlights. Tell us all about that.
So I've been playing squash since I was 12 years old. And then I visited Bristol in 2019 when I was 15 years old, and I was in Bristol for a month-long camp with a squash coach named Hadrian. And then that is when Hadrian introduced me to UE and all the programs that they had to offer and stuff like that. So before that, my parents never thought that I'd ever leave before my postgraduate degree and go study in some foreign country. So after that month-long camp, my mother started researching about all the courses that UE has to offer and stuff like that, because coaching over here is not what you want it to be. So coaching in Bristol meant that I'd get to study and train at the same time, which is why I ended up choosing UE. So since my first year, I was representing the uni, playing Bucks matches, whilst attending lectures and stuff like that.
Oh wow! So all 3 years of UE, you still did
I did, yeah.
squash, and then
Yeah.
And then, so while we've spoken about this whole podcast regarding all the ways that you're, growing academically, he was also on the squash pitch doing the same thing.
Before I joined UE did not have a women's team. So that was the first year that we
So
actually
you're
had.
trailblazing. Goodness.
Wow.
So we were
Amazing.
4 girls that got UE from the lower stage up to the Prem. So in the second year, we did not have to play all those local matches anymore. We were directly playing at the national level. So so then, and then we even won the national championship in my second year and my third year.
I love how you
Amazing.
put as
By
a
the way.
footnote. A throwaway comment. So you're not only sort of trailblazed in, establishing a women's team, you've got them up to, I guess, the Premiership level nationally, and then so you carry that on. I just want to know about all this time management. How did you juggle everything? This is what yeah.
It was so tough, which is why I couldn't focus a lot on my studies in my first and second year, because I was mainly squash focused. But I think I considerably reduced my squash in the third year. So I was barely doing an hour a day, or probably even less in my final year. But before that, in my first and second year, I used to have so my training was in the center. So every Tuesday, Thursday.
I have to stop you. You said you did less, only an hour a day. For me, that's a workout. So I love the perspectives. We're on different leagues here. So in your final year, where you focus mainly on your studies, you're only doing 1 hour of Scottish. Okay.
Yes.
So I just want to. I missed the heartbeat there, but anyway. So if you could do, say, your second and your first year, and you wanted a bit more balanced, what would your typical schedule be? Like, what would be the advice? People who really want to do extracurricular activity and at the same time get the full benefits of studying at university. What would be how would you split it? Because that would give other students ideas.
In my first and second year, I had no idea that I could actually switch the timings of my modules to fit them around my training. So that was one of the most important aspects. Yeah. Yes, because so many people.
Look at your timetable.
Yeah. So many people don't know how they can actually change the timings to match their schedule, and so that they can actually attend more lectures. So in my first and second year, I was skipping lectures to attend training. But then in my third year, I actually chose the lectures around my training, which meant that even though I was doing 2 hours of training and then directly getting into a lecture, at least I was not missing any side of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that is the most important thing.
So planning ahead of time, looking at the schedule, looking at what you want to do.
You have to be prepared. Your weekly schedule needs to be done, and your monthly schedule needs to be prepped out so that you're not missing out on anything. And then I started doing loads of move sessions in my third year, which I had no idea about in my first and second year. I started doing the hoop sessions in the students' union. I started doing yoga. I started doing dance sessions. I started doing.
Can you just remind us what Move is?
So Move is a membership that comes with your gym membership, and it offers a variety of different activities that students can do for free. So it involves yoga, it involves Pilates, it involves aerial hoop yoga, it involves dancing and climbing and loads of different activities where you can get to meet loads of different people and just have a really nice time. It's usually just an hour-long slot, so it's not taking loads of time, but it's also just refreshing your mind. So you get out of the library, go into the gym or the students' union, you have a little bit of fun, have dinner, and then get back to studying. And it just makes sense because otherwise nothing's going into your brain after a certain point of time.
Amazing.
So you were
Anabela.
involved much more in those move activities.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of summarize what you said there, that it's all about balancing, right? And balancing your time. And I think an important aspect of that is you don't need to find out these things on your own. And it seems like you were very much trying to figure it out on your own. And I would say to other students right now is if you are in this situation, in this position, and you're trying to balance things and finding a way to balance them, talk to your program leaders and ask for advice. Reach out, ask a teacher that you feel comfortable with, ask some advice. Go to your student advisors. They also provide advice on time management and how you could balance things out and what you could do to make it easier for you. But
definitely.
Just reach out is my, we have loads of support at the university available. You don't need to figure things out on your own or struggle on your own with the amount of people and support that is out there. And the other thing I wanted to say is how amazing your progress, your journey. I mean, as young as you are, I don't know if you realize how much you've already achieved. That is impressive, by the way. With your age, I can't claim to anything as impressive as that. So I'm at awe at everything that you've done, but also the journey that you describe is evidence of how much resilience you've had to achieve all of these things. Because I am sure we're smiling about it and enjoying the conversation, but I'm sure there's been some really difficult times for you throughout the process. So being away from home and doing all of this, I mean, that is very impressive. So I hope that you are aware of that and that you understand how resilient you have become, how much you can do. And I can see how much more you will do in the future and the potential of what is coming because of that drive that you have to achieve things. So I wanted to say that because I don't want that to get lost in our conversation, because it's very impressive. So well done you.
Thank you.
Keep going.
So now you just play for India as a weekend job. Is this what I'm hearing? I just represent my country on the Saturday. Is that what you're doing?
I'm on a break at the minute because of certain injuries, but I think
that's what you did. That's what the plan is. Great.
For now,
Amazing. No, Taniska, it's so amazing to have heard your story, and I got cut myself out. And I think students would really appreciate how, just reflecting on a moment you said earlier, that the level of your tempo in terms of how you organize your squash. Do you think that sort of translated the same tempo how you sort of dedicated to your work as well? Because I think there's always a big fear where students think, oh, if I commit to too many things, something's got to give. I'll do more here and then do less here. Or is it possible to, if you think ahead long enough, that you can kind of get a good balance out of it?
I think it was not as tough for me since I've been doing it since my school days. So even my A levels and all of those exams, I did it while playing. I never really had a gap from playing at all. So I just learned how to figure a way around it and to plan my day accordingly, because you don't want to be overtired, but you also don't want to miss out on anything.
So do you schedule in rest as well?
I do. That's a very like a very nice quote that my coach keeps reminding me about. It's about if you don't schedule rest, your body is going to schedule it for you. So you have to do it.
Yeah, I love that. That is brilliant. And I think people that play sports have very much that awareness and mentality. But I hope we can transfer that to other students that maybe are not playing sports, but understanding the importance of planning rest and fun. Put fun, as you said, your mood sessions. It's so important to recover, for your brain to recover and to have an opportunity to disconnect. I remember when I was studying, going to the gym was the only time I could disconnect from everything.
Switch off, yeah, exactly, yeah.
But it was also the time I was getting the most ideas for my assessments. It was incredible. It was like a creative space because I would disconnect and then feel relaxed and then suddenly, oh yes, I could do this. And I would write it down so I wouldn't forget. So for different people, it will be different things. It will be going for a walk in nature, or volunteering allows them to enjoy their time. So everyone has a different thing they like. So just do it. Include that in your schedule. Don't stop having fun just because you have all of this academic obligations. There has to be a balance. Yes, you need to study. Yes, you need to do work outside of the sessions to be able to progress, but you also need to enjoy your time at university, connect with others, and have fun.
Yes.
Brilliant. I think we need to close off the podcast because I feel like I'll talk to Taniska all day.
We could talk all day. I had
but we have a
other
day
questions.
job. Taniska from Mo, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I'll be tracking your future. I'll let Anabela sort of close off the whole thing.
Yeah, thank you so.
I think. Sorry.
Go, Chris. No, go.
I just wanted to congratulate Taniska again for the Dean's List 2024.
Thank you so
I think
much.
that was amazing, and
Thank you.
knowing what was happening in the background makes that even more incredible. So wow, well done.
No, it's because of professors like you all that it made the journey so much easier for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made it through. I'm just so grateful for every single professor in my final year because there's so much respect for all of you. Thank you so much.
Likewise. Thank you so much for
absolutely.
chatting with us and for giving us your time to advise other students in their journey. And it has been an absolute joy to chat with you today and learn more about what you've been up to this past years. So we'll stay in touch. Thank you very much.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.